Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching the channel as always. Today we're going to work on this Craftsman riding mower. It's I guess it's not quite an LT1000, but it's built like one of the more base models. It has had a little bit of work done to it. It was my neighbor's mower. He ended up upgrading to that 90s MTD yard machines that I put deck spindle on, and I had the opposed twin cylinder Briggs on it. He's cut with that a couple times since we got it. Been doing good. But this one, the main issue was, he was cutting with it last year, but the main issue is the transmission's locked in gear. I'll show you why I think it is locked in gear here in just a second. But what I do have is a donor transaxle out of a different mower that I scrapped last year or the year before. Same style setup with the levers and everything, so it'll be an easy swap hopefully. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get started with that. If you have any questions about the video, you can feel free to reach out to me at ellis@ellismowers.com, or you can reach out to me on Instagram and Facebook at ellismowers09. Also, I have some sponsor links down below. If you use those links to buy products from those respective websites, then I get a little cut from that, or you get a little bit of money off. So let's go ahead and get started on this Craftsman, and we will see if a transmission swap and a little bit of magic to get it running again is going to get it back into presentable condition. So as always, we'll take a look around before we get going on this. It is a Craftsman. Things I will be doing to it: I have a hood that looks like that, which is not good. I'm going to take a hood off of one of my mowers in the back here to put on this, and it should run, or it should be pretty good. I got one that's actually the exact same to a T almost. I do need to find a deck shield cover, which I have one of those as well. A little bit of ATF in the tires should get the tires pumped back up, save for the right front, which is already good. This one's got it originally had a 15.5 Briggs on it. It now has a 14.5 Briggs on it. It runs fine. He ran it up until last year. Obviously, we got the typical oil leak around the dipstick tube. That's very typical for these. Nothing crazy apart from that, though. I think we'll be okay. Blades look like they're in okay shape. Hopefully we can survive with those. But here's the transaxle I'm going to use. This is a spicer. I think it may have a spicer in it. I'm not sure, but it's got the hookup just like what we need, fender mounted, or what would that be, between the legs, the shifting between the legs. So that's what we're going to be working on. Things I have already done to this in order to get it ready to go. I have already taken the deck belt off the back. What I need to do next is take this pulley off, which all it is a snap ring pliers and a little bit of lubricant. We should be able to get that right off there. There's a little key on the inside that we may have to put on it. We will put the new pulley on once we get the new transaxle in. But we'll go ahead and take it off here now, since we've got a little bit of leverage to be able to pull this thing up and out. And I will catch up with y'all when I get that done and share with you any struggles I may have. Alright guys, so there's the pulley off. All it was the snap ring, like I mentioned, right there. And then a little bit of lubricant. I used a wire brush to kind of get a little bit of the rust off of the top, and it came right off after that. So the good news is these transmissions really are not that bad to get out. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 16 bolts total, and they really, like I said, it's extremely easy to get out. What I might do, you have two options in order to get these things out, and I think I'm going to use the option that I have with the bolts on the side here. So what I'm going to do first is jack up the tires here, take the tires off, and take the should I take the backing plate off? Probably not. I'm going to try and do this without taking the backing plate off so that I can use it as a jack point. I'm going to attempt to take these two bolts off on this side, this bolt off on this side to get it off. And then, what bolt's over here? Well, there's not a bolt over here. Yeah, there is a bolt on the top there and a same bolt on the other side. So I'm going to try and get those bolts off. And you can kind of see where the failure point of this transmission was right there. It looks like all the oil and stuff dripped out of this little seal that busted or something along those lines on both sides. So it probably, you know, the shift forks got messed up or got starved and it wouldn't shift anymore. So that's what I'm going to do. And when I get those bolts off, I'll rejoin you and we'll get the rest of this, pull this thing out and hopefully transfer the new one in. Alright guys, I've gotten the pretty much everything off of this transmission so far. It was that bolt in the front that you can see. It was I think it was like a 13 mil or a half. And then I had these three bolts in the back. You can see the scars from them. And that's about it on that side. Same thing on the other side, except the front bolt was missing, which may have been why it didn't really like to shift very well, because it may have been rocking back and forth, so it's dropped. Now what we've got to do is release the parking brake. And pull the rod out. For the brake, and this thing will probably jack on up and come on off. So y'all hang tight right here as we pull it off here. Or is there something else holding it here? Let's see. Nope. There we go. So that's all we needed to take that out. Like I said, super easy. It's not shifting at all. Like it's completely seized inside, and I think something's going on right there and right here with the seals or something along those lines. You can kind of see that this one is actually sealed. So I don't know if this was a spicer or if it was a different transaxle. It looks to be a different one. It may have been a Peerless. See if there's a sticker on it anywhere. No, I think the sticker might actually be on the bottom of the, yeah. Oh, this was a spicer, okay. 31402. So congratulations, transaxle. You lasted about 20 years. You can still go in one gear, but we want you to go in all. I believe this is a 6-speed. It may be a 5-speed. I'll have to check. But basically, I'm just going to rip this bad boy back in there, and it'll be ready to go. Because it came out of this one came out of a Wizard. Basically, a Craftsman. It was a Craftsman. It's just made by a different manufacturer. Thing I've got to do is just make sure that I get this arm in to the proper area. You can see this one actually will shift. Ugh. There you go. Reverse, neutral, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Reverse, neutral, 1, 2. This might only be a 4-speed. Actually, this may only be a 4-speed. Either way, it works. So that's what matters. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this in. I showed you how to take it out. It's pretty self-explanatory. And I'll get it back in here right now. Alright guys, so one tip I have for y'all is whenever you get it jacked, I jacked up the rear slid the transaxle in there, and then let it, and then jacked it down, or when I slid it in there, I slowly let it jack down and held the shifter as I got it where it is. I made sure that I took the shifter and put it in between where the belt is, because that's what needs to happen. And also went ahead and put the ball on it. That way that ball is going to keep this transaxle from sliding out of that slot there, and I can kind of work it back and forth. But what I've done, as you can see, I've got it lined up already, and what I'm going to do is just kind of lift it into place. I may even take the mower, take the jack off the back of the fender here, and I'm just going to kind of work this thing into place and get a couple of bolts in, and then from there I'll get all the remainder of the bolts in, and I'll put the rod back on, and we'll be ready to rock and roll here pretty soon. Let me go ahead and get to work on that. Since filming transmissions is kind of hard, I just kind of wanted to show you the process. Alright y'all, I got it in and bolted up. It is aligned properly on the shifter. The drive belt is on, the pulley is on. You just have to line that pulley up with the flywheel key and make sure that the little semicircle key doesn't fall out whenever you put it in. And we've got it in, and the shifter is working. 1, 3, 4. We've only got 4 speeds, but it is a working transaxle, so that's what matters. Like I said, put the drive belt back on, and we're going to put the wheels back on, and see if there's any oil in it. I'll see if I can get this thing started with a battery somewhere in here. I don't want to see. I have to put a new battery in it, and see if we can crank it over, get it going, running and driving, and then we'll work on the oil leak, the hood, and doing the deck work. I think I got to line the deck up and a few other things on it, as well as pump the tires up and put a little ATF in them and try and keep them pumped up. So let me keep on cruising here. I'll get the wheels on. I'm going to wire brush the wheels, the spindles, and then throw the wheels on with the wheel keys, with the washer and the locking ring, and then we should be good to go. Alright guys, wheels are on, everything's buttoned up. I've got gas in it, and it's full of oil even though it was drizzling out. So I'm going to set y'all on the tripod and see if we can get this thing started here. Alright guys, here we go. Alright, y'all, so that's a good thing. See, it's leaking a little bit on the valve cover, but nothing ridiculous for a mower like this. Goes forwards and backwards. I do want to put need to lube up the linkages a little bit, as well as I would like to get the air in the tires. So let me work on that. Once I get that taken care of, we'll give it a little bit of a test drive. Alright guys, we're going to wrap this video and wrap this day up with this. I went ahead and just went to town, finished it up. A lot of things that you've already seen multiple times on the channel, and so I just figured that you might as well just roll on with it. Level the deck. Ended up finding a hood for it off of a donor mower back there that didn't have any transmission or engine on it. It's a little cracked in the front, but it is a hood that works, so that's the thing. One thing I don't know if I can show you, I'm still waiting on my new tripod to come in, or my new GoPro mount to come in, but I don't know if you can see, this thing is kind of like jacked over to this side a little bit. I don't know if this thing's hit something hard at one point and kind of bent the front axle back, but that's kind of what appears to have happened. It mows and drives good. If you didn't notice it, then visually you wouldn't think anything of it. I've leveled the deck as good as I could. It seems like it's alright. Engine is running fine. Deck's cutting fine. I put a new deck belt on it. So it's doing, like I said, doing fine. I adjusted the brakes a little bit. So it's ready to roll. I am going to adjust the idle a little bit, but that's all that's left to do on this thing, so worked out alright. Story with this one's, like I said, it came from a neighbor. The mower is already sold. I just have to get it over there and get the trade in. Trading for a white outdoor riding mower. It's in rough shape, but I'm getting a trade plus some cash. She's also going to buy a push mower from me too, so it'd be a good deal. Like I said, this thing was running and cutting last year. I was having an issue with the with it shifting really hard. This one right here as well, but the issue mostly lied within. It seemed like the brakes. The brakes, I think, were adjusted too tight, and I loosened up the brakes a little bit, and this thing's been shifting good. And just the few rounds I've made around the yard, I am going to cut with it before I let it go. And send it off to its new home. So hope y'all enjoyed this. We've done quite a few of these on the channel. This is no different. This one was one of the easier ones, and I'm glad to get another rider back going, because this is the first one I've had since the zero turn, the Cub Cadet that y'all saw on the channel a while back. And it's about 2 weeks in between them. So that's it for this video. Thank y'all again for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know it's a little on the shorter side. I didn't really show a lot, but I did just kind of want to show you the 40,000 foot view of how to put a transmission on one of these, because it's really not that hard. But if you want to tackle it yourself, it's just a few bolts. Just follow the sequence, follow the process, and you'll be good. Thank you all again for watching. Again, if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com, or on Instagram and Facebook at ellismowers09, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Also consider subscribing, and then in the link in the description below, I have some partners with some companies that may have some products that you may be interested in. I'll catch y'all in the next video. See you then.